Welcome to Ready, Set, Sold with your host, Bryan Vogt. Are you wanting or even thinking about selling your house but don't know where to start? Good thing you found Ready, Set, Sold. And now, real estate broker, Bryan Vogt.
Welcome, everyone, to Ready, Set, Sold. I am your host, Bryan Vogt. Merry Christmas. Oh, my goodness. I mean, we're 1 day away from Christmas Eve, 2 days away from Christmas. And it's funny, I talk with people and I find myself the same way. The date on the calendar doesn't change, but boy, it just seems like it gets quicker and quicker as I get a little bit older. I know when I was a child growing up, those days seemed to drag on forever and ever and ever before the big day came. So hopefully you've gotten everything taken care of. You've gotten your gifts, if that's what you're doing, or whatever tradition that you are celebrating, whether it be whatever religion or no religion or just the holiday season itself. It's just a great time of the year. So hopefully things are going well for that. And so this week, because of the holiday season, because of Christmas, we're doing something totally different. We're going to be talking to my family. We have a special guest on that you do not want to miss. You do not want to miss. I will give you a hint. He has normally wears red, a little overweight, some people say, and he's going to be joining us later on. So we're really, really, really excited about that. We didn't know if that was going to be possible, given that his big day and night is coming. But I think we've secured that. And so if you've got younger children, you might want to let them know that. I'll just say the big guy is going to be on the show, and we're really excited about that. So that's going to be some fun. Ready, Set, Sold. Normally we talk again about real estate. This time with the Christmas coming up, we're deviating from that a little bit. So with that being said, I wanted to bring on some of my family. My son, Josh Vogt, he's on the line with me. He is a fantastic guy. Yes, I'm prejudiced, but you know what? I'm not the only one that ever says that. He's a fantastic guy. And Josh, are you there?
Yes, I am.
How you doing, son?
Good. How are you doing, Dad?
I'm doing pretty well. One of the things I wanted to kind of bring on is kind of talk about some of the traditions that maybe we've had, other people on our team had. My mom's going to be joining us shortly. So just to kind of give a flair for the holiday season, and maybe some of those things that you guys do now, or maybe they'll give some memories back from your past, because I know memories are a really big thing when it comes to Christmas, at least for me, and I'm sure for you too and the listeners. And Josh, I always tell people this story that I have another child also, Danielle, and you two growing up were like polar opposites when it came to Christmas time. And one of the things I always tell people is underneath the tree that Christmas morning, you would just tear into those toys. I mean, you would just unwrap those things as fast as you possibly could and move on to the next one. And that was always cool. Your sister seemed like she was rewrapping the gifts. That's how slow she was about unwrapping them, and then she would make sure the paper was right. It was all good, but it was just kind of maybe a little frustrating on my part. And I remember a few times where you would be sitting there, you're done, move on to the next thing. What do you remember most about Christmas mornings?
I would say that's probably a good point. I noticed as I got older, I would try to pace myself. I try to open maybe a couple and then watch her open her presents, just because I didn't want to feel left out and stuff like that. But I thought it was always fun waking up and seeing all the presents and getting really exciting, and then trying to wait for you guys to wake up was very hard, and try to have some patience.
Yeah, I don't think that we were always the easiest to wake up, but I know the one that was, and yes, you can't defend yourself.
I know you weren't the easiest to wake up.
I know. You're right. You're right. I mean, in hindsight, I probably looked upon that you would be waiting, sitting in the chair usually, and Then the other problem was after you got me up was your sister.
Mhm. Yeah, she
was yeah, she wasn't big about waking up, but eventually she always did. And again, I talk about that because one of the things that growing up and the listeners out there, I think oftentimes Christmas morning is traditional, but as you'll hear from my mom a little bit later on, growing up, we always celebrated on Christmas Eve. We always did it that night, and that was our Christmas. So that was a kind of a cool thing. And so I know, son, you've got Cole, and you're married now to Kathy. And I know you're talking about that there's other traditions that you're looking at doing, and one of them maybe has to do with the outside.
Yeah, this year kind of got away from us just being busy, but planning on making sure we do outside lights, because I always remember you starting outside lights like the weekend before Thanksgiving or on Thanksgiving Day for sure, putting up Christmas lights. So probably plan on doing that starting next Christmas and continuing that.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, like I said, the Christmas lights, I will have to admit, I probably got, if it's possible, I maybe got a little carried away. I would say that is very correct. I do remember, what was that? The Chevy Chase movie, Christmas Vacation. Yeah, and I guess in hindsight, I did kind of look at that of how I approached the lighting system, and you as sometimes my sidekick was fun. But again, I think that's a cool thing. That's a fun thing. And then I guess the other part that I'm always thinking about was maybe, was there a special gift that you ever got? I don't know. I don't think I've ever asked you. Was there anything special that just really always stood out with you?
Probably when I got a BB gun. I've been wanting it for, a couple of years, and then finally got it, and I was pretty excited. I think I opened it right away, and then I think went outside and shot it a couple times just because I was so excited, and then I came back and finished opening presents. But I know that was for sure probably the most exciting one I gotten whenever I opened it.
Wow. I quite frankly, I never knew that. It was kind of funny. It reminds me of the, I guess it plays every year, the Christmas Story about the Red Ryder BB gun.
That's pretty much how it went down, how excited I was, because I know Mom was always against guns like that, paintball guns, BB guns, things of that nature.
Do you remember how old you were?
Oh, I think by then I was in like 6th or 7th grade, but I was just I'd been like wanting it for so long that I couldn't help myself. I was so happy when I got it.
I love that. No, I didn't know that. The other part of that too is I know you're still a believer in Santa Claus, correct?
Of course.
Because I remember I got some bad information one year. I guess I was been about 9 or 10 years old, and some people was telling me that they didn't believe the Santa Claus wasn't real, some crazy talk like that, and I took it, and I can tell you that year was the first year I got underwear underneath the Christmas tree. So. Yeah, I mean, it just worked out that way. So once I realized that, I became a true believer again, and at least I didn't get quite as much of that underneath the Christmas tree. So any other things that maybe jump out at you at the Christmas time, or maybe you and Kathy and Cole got lined up? Christmas morning, I'm sure it's going to be a special time for you guys too.
I'd just like to revisit one topic. Whenever you said you were getting carried away, maybe a little bit at the outside lights, that a little carried away, I think, means that you had about 10 to 12 deer in the yard, lights and all the Christmas trees. And then you had, all the bushes lighted up, which, looking back on it, maybe that was 30, 40 bushes. And then lights on the roof, and then with Mom with the wreaths and candles in the windows. So, yeah, it was pretty intense Christmas.
It was fun though, right? It was fun. It was cool.
Oh yes, yeah. I had very good memories.
Yeah, good. Well, like I said, and I think that's what Christmas is a lot of memories. We did have a few planes buzz by us. It seemed like that they got confused with a landing strip, but that's okay. That's okay. Great. Well, hey, thanks so much for sharing some memories, spending some time with you. I love you, of course, and we will be seeing each other. Wow, I think later on today and during the Christmas holidays. So I want to wish you a Merry Christmas, and I will see you soon.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Dad. Love you.
All right, love you. With that, we're going to take a sharp break, and we're going to have some more guests, and I believe my mom is going to be joining us and kind of talking about Christmas traditions. And that's kind of what we're doing this segment this Saturday. Stay tuned. You listen to Ready, Set, Soul with your host, Bryan Vogt.
May your days be merry and bright.